Hey superstars, it's Magi Helena. Today let's examine this question. Do you need an accurate birth time for accurate astrology? I'm the only woman and one of only two certified level 4 Magi astrologers, the highest level, and I've helped thousands of people across the US and in 40 countries worldwide to understand themselves and their relationships and how to become more successful. Before we start, please subscribe right here on YouTube and click the bell on the right so you'll know as soon as new astrology videos are released. Some people worry that if they don't know the birth time, they won't be able to get accurate info. What most people have never really thought about is this. The issue of birth times is actually pretty murky at best. First of all, what's the definition of the time of birth? There is no absolute definition. Is this the moment when the baby's head crowns? When the infant is fully delivered? When the infant draws its first breath? Is it the moment when the umbilical cord is cut? What is the actual anatomical moment of birth? In practice, it's said to be when the baby's body is entirely clear of the mother's body, regardless of natural or cesarean birth. But should that really be considered the moment of birth? My own opinion is that until the cord is cut, the infant is not a standalone physical being. But that's just my opinion. I've even asked doctors this question and no one knows for sure. Then there's the issue of clock accuracy. There were no atomic clocks until very recent years. Before atomic time, clocks were seldom exactly right. What if the doctors or nurses or midwives' watch or clock was off? And doctors and nurses often write down birth times later from memory rather than at the moment. What if the birth time was written down later after the birth and wasn't remembered correctly? Unless, of course, the mom is an astrologer yelling, okay, everyone's watch is synchronized, everybody ready to write down the time, as it was when I was giving birth to my son. Due to all this, all birth times should be taken with some skepticism, and especially times which may have been rounded, like 12 p.m. or 2:30 a.m., etc. Then, of course, there are lots of people whose birth times simply are not shown on their birth certificates at all. Even rectified birth times are suspect, no matter who did the rectification, since there's no way to prove the rectified time is correct. At best, it's an educated guess. This can all be very confusing. So what to do? The first thing to do is use science-based astrology. Science-based astrology does not need birth times for accuracy. Think about it this way. The only way to prove what really works in astrology was to do broad statistical research. We use public figures for research since both their birth data and their life stories are known. But verified birth times are not often available for public figures. Even without birth times, science-based Magi astrology developed a supremely accurate system. By all means, use the birth time when you have it. But even if it's tempting, don't fudge your or someone else's birth time just so you can see what you want to see. It's better to have less info than to get wrong info lodged in your brain. By the way, birth time is more of an issue in the geocentric and heliocentric longitudes, since the planets move more slowly in the declinations and latitudes. When birth time is unknown, I use 12 noon for charts, but I don't use moon. My love compatibility reports and personal astrology calendars do not use moon either if the birth time is unknown. Again, better less info than wrong info. To finish up, it's impossible to be absolutely certain about birth times, but the really good news is you don't need them. The most accurate astrology in the world is based on research-proven principles which do not require a birth time. This makes things a lot easier for everyone. Hooray! If you like this video, please take a second and click like. If not, click dislike. If there's someone you know that should see this video, please share it with them. Remember, subscribe here on YouTube for more astrology videos, and I hope you'll come visit me on MagiHelena.com for info on your personal best and worst timing for love and success, how to understand your relationships, and a lot more. Wishing you all good fortune.